Okay, so today we'll be doing chapter 10, the opulence of the Absolute. Slok 10.31 and 10.32. 10.31, 10.32. So since we are doing two of them, let's read through the first one, then we'll do the second one a little thoroughly. Pavana Pavatam Asmi Rama Sastra Prutam Aham Jasana Makarat Jasmi Shrota Sam Asmi Janavi. Okay, word for word translation. Pavana, the wind. Pavatam, of all that purifies. Asmi, I am. Rama, Ram. Sastra Prutam, of the carrier of weapons. Aham, I am. Jasana, of all fish. Makara, the shark. Cha, also. Asmi, I am. Shrotasam, of flowing rivers. Asmi, I am. Janvi, the river Ganges. Of purifiers and the wind. Of the builders of weapon, I am Ram. Of fishes, I am the shark. And of flowing rivers, and the Ganges. Purport. Of all the aquatics, the shark is one of the biggest, and is certainly the most dangerous to man. Thus, the shark represents Krishna. There is not much purport in here, but these are all the four of the opulences which have been given. So let us read this next one, which we are going to discuss now. Sarganam adhir antasya madhyam chaivam aham arjuna adhyatma vidya vidyana vada pravadatam aham. Anyone wants to repeat? Sargana of all creations, Adi, the beginning, Anta, end, Cha, end, Madhyam, middle, Cha, also, Eva, certainly, Aham, I am, Arjuna, O Arjuna, Adhyatmi Vidya, spiritual knowledge, Vidyana, of all education, Vada, the natural conclusion, Pravadatam, of arguments, Aham, I am. Translation covered by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki of all creations, I am the beginning and the end and also the middle, O Arjuna. Of all sciences, I am the spiritual science of the self, and among logicians, I am the conclusive truth. Please repeat after me. Of all creations, I am the beginning and the end, and also the middle. O Arjuna, of all sciences, I am the spiritual science of the self, and among logicians, I am the conclusive truth. Among the created manifestations, the first is the creation of the total material elements. As explained before, the cosmic manifestation is created and conducted by Mahavishnu, Garbhodakshai Vishnu, and Sirodakshai Vishnu, and then again is annihilated by Lord Shiva. Brahma is the secondary creator. All these agents of creation, maintenance and annihilation are incarnations of the material qualities of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, He is the beginning, the middle, and the end of all creation. For advanced education, there are various kinds of books of knowledge, such as the 4 Vedas, their 6 supplements, the Vedanta Sutra, books of logic, books of religiosity, and the Puranas. So all together, there are 14 divisions of books of education. Of these, the book which presents Adhyatma Vidya, spiritual knowledge, in particular, the Vedanta Sutra, represents Krishna. Among logicians, there are different kinds of argument. Supporting one's argument with evidence that also supports the opposing side is called Jalpa. Merely trying to defeat one's opponent is called Vitanda, but the actual conclusion is called Vada. This conclusive truth is a representation of Krishna. Om Jnanatimidandasya Jnana Salakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manopistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gauragi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpradubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhyasya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vadasi Sarvaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay, from chapter 7, in fact, throughout the Gita, in a lot of places, from chapter 7 and chapter 9, Krishna has mentioned his opulences. In chapter 10, which we are doing, Chatusloki Gita from 10.8 to 10.11 have mentioned his opulences. Apart from this, 82 opulences have been mentioned in chapter 10. So there is plenty of opulences which have been mentioned by Bhagavan himself, because he is the only person who is capable of mentioning them. There are a lot of things which only he is able to inform us, not anyone else. He is not boasting, he is not doing anything. He is the only person, so he is giving out that information. Right. By this, Arjuna has become satisfied with his understanding of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. All these opulences he has heard and he has understood. He has no doubt. He has absolutely no doubt. But he is asking on behalf of the common people. He is asking for you and me. He himself is a realized soul. So he knows about this. But for the benefit of our common people like us, he has asked Bhagavan to expand, to give some more, with which he also gets the nectar of it. So chapter 9 ends with the sloka 9.34. Engage your mind in thinking of me, become my devotee, offer obeisances to me, and worship me, being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to me. To assist in thinking of Krishna at all times, we can visualize Krishna through his creations. We have not reached to that level. So, in order to visualize where Krishna is, we can do it through his manifestations, his creations. Everything created is the manifestation of Krishna's energies. Krishna exists in each and every atom. We don't have the capacity to see Krishna in that manner, and that is why Bhagavan has to display his opulences as mentioned in the slokas of this chapter. So, he is giving an opportunity for us to understand where he can be located, where he can be found. The word Bhagavan is explained by Parasar Muni as a possessor of 6 opulences in unlimited quantities. It is full strength, full fame, full wealth, full knowledge, full beauty, and full renunciation. Those are the 6 main categories where a person can become attracted. The common link with all these opulences, the common link which is there between all these opulences is the attractiveness. You become attracted to something who if is very clever, or if is very beautiful, or if is very knowledgeable. That attraction which is done, in fact the word Krishna is full of attraction. So Krishna, since Krishna is in every atom, some of his creations will be attractive and some not. Not all creations are very attractive and some are not so attractive. You may have an example. You might be attracted to a lion or an elephant or an animal or something. But you will not be attracted to a cockroach or a little ant or something. You will not be attracted. So you cannot have attraction of the same nature for each and every one of his creations. But this was the fact that our minds are limited. Krishna is saying, therefore we need to focus on the best of that group. So when he's talking about the fish in the previous sloka, he's not talking about each and every type of fish. Each and every type of fish is his creation. But he's talking about the shark. The shark is the best. Your mind gets attracted to that particular feature. Right? When he's talking about mountains, he's talking about the Himalayas. There are so many mountains. All are creation of Krishna. But for you to understand, to appreciate, he is saying concentrate on the best among that group. So that is why. And we don't have the capacity. We have limited senses. So we want to go for a little shortcut. Give us the best. We don't want to worry about the rest. So these two facts leads us to the thing that we need to focus on the best, and that is why in Slok 10.19, he says the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, yes, I will tell you of my splendorous manifestations, but only of those which are prominent. O Arjuna, for my opulence is limitless. My opulence is limitless, but you will not be able to grasp all of that. I will let you know the best among the groups. So all the opulences mentioned are Krishna, but for our limited senses, Krishna is highlighted the best in that particular group. The groups covered, if you analyze, there are 82 which I mentioned, 82 different opulences which you have been given. If you analyze, the groups are demigods, he's talking about demigods, he's talking about sages, he's talking about humans and kings, he's talking about animals, laws and crime, qualities, nature, philosophical truths, and Vedic mantras. So he has completed the whole spectrum of opulences where you can think of Krishna, where you can think, just by thinking of one particular, your mind will focus onto Krishna. That is what it's on. So in 10.41 it says, know that all opulent, beautiful and glorious creations spring from but a spark of my splendor. So again he is confirming that what I am informing you is just a tiny fraction, very small fraction, because you will understand from that only how big and great I am. So today's sloka, it says, first of all we go into that he is the beginning, he is the middle, he is the end. So here in 10.8, it says, I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who perfectly know this engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. This is, I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. In Sloka 9.8, it says, the whole cosmic order is under me. Under my will, it is automatically manifested again and again. And under my will, it is annihilated at the end. Again, it's talking about the entire creation. He is basically my servant. He is under me. Right? And in 9.18 it says, I am the goal, the sustainer, the master, the witness, the abode, the refuge, and the most dear friend. I am the creation and the annihilation, the basis of everything, the resting place and the eternal scene. Again, he's emphasizing all that I am the one responsible for all the causes. and the cause of all causes. Then in Sloka 10.42, he says, but what need is there, Arjuna, for all this detailed knowledge? With a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support this entire universe. Again, he's emphasizing the whole creation is through me. Right? So that is why when he says in this sloka that he is the beginning, he is the middle, and he is the end, he is further explained further in this sloka where he says that the first expansion of Krishna is, who is the first expansion of Krishna? Well, Balram. No, it's Balram. Balram is the first expansion. Then from Balram comes 4 other expansions. They are Vasudeva, Sankarshan, Pradyuman and Aniruddha. Krishna expands into Balram. Balram expands into Vasudeva, Sankarshan, Pradyuman and Aniruddha. From Sankarshan, there is a further expansion of Narayan. And Narayan further expands into 4, which is Vasudeva, Sankarshan, again Pradyuman and Aniruddha. Right? So you see, the expansion takes place from Krishna to Balram to this Sankarshan to Narayan, again Sankarshan, and then Sankarshan expands into Mahavishnu. Mahavishnu brings out various innumerable universes. So you have Mahavishnu, then you have Garbhodakshai Vishnu, enters into each individual universes, and from his navel, Brahma is created, who is the secondary creator. So from this expansion, you can see that they have now come down to a smaller, understandable level for our particular universe. There is Mahavishnu, now there is Garbhodakshai Vishnu, and then the last one is Sirodakshai Vishnu, enters into each and every atom. So Krishna is there in each and every bit of the universe. Right? And then there is also Lord Shiva, whose task is for annihilation. So all these are creations of Krishna. Yeah? So this is the understanding that the Krishna is the beginning, the middle and the end of all creation. He has explained, he's gone through such a length that so many places he's talking about that I am the creator, I am the seed, I am everything. And then it goes on and on and on, and at the end he's maintaining everything. There are a lot of slokas which says how he's maintaining. Then at the end, the task has been handed over to Lord Shiva to annihilate. So all that is taking place. Right. So that is the first part of this sloka which says. Then there is the second part which says that there are 4 Vedas. There are 6 supplements. So 4 plus 6 is 10. Then there is Vedanta Sutra, that's 11. Books of logic, number 12. Books of religiosity, number 13. And Puranas, 14. So there are 14 in total. So that is the number which has been mentioned that these books have been given. And what are the purpose of these books? The whole purpose of reading the scriptures is to know Krishna. That is the whole idea. That if you read and understand these various books, you will understand Krishna. You will come to know who Krishna is. All these books are very voluminous and difficult to understand. They are very good books, but for a person to go through, to read all that, understand and appreciate, so it is better to just chant the holy name. That solves all this aspect. Chanting of the holy name is. It says Vedanta is the last word in Vedic wisdom. Vedanta is the last word in Vedic wisdom, and the author and knower of the Vedanta philosophy is Lord Krishna. And the highest Vedantist is the great soul who takes pleasure in chanting the holy name of the Lord. Right? So it says, the word Vedanta is actually made up of 2 words, Ved and Ant. Ved is Vedas and Anta is end. So the conclusion of the Vedas is given in the Vedanta Sutra. And that says that the purpose of the Veda is to know Krishna. Right? And Sutra actually means just the thread. All of them have been linked together. So Vedanta Sutra is the end of the conclusion of the Vedas, which is to know Krishna. Okay. Then we come to the last part of this sloka, which says that there is various types of discussions or arguments or debates, whatever you want to call it. So Samvad is talking between two, Samvad, right? That is what Arjuna and Krishna were doing. So that is Samvad. Then there is Vada or Vada. Purpose of discussion is to arrive at the truth of the proposition under consideration. It is not important who gives the points towards achieving the truth of certain matter. It is the honest, friendly and balanced debate. A fair-minded and respectful discourse. It is to put any proposition to the test of time. So you are trying to establish the truth about certain things. You are not trying to defeat the other person. That is not the idea. You might come out with a good point, I'll come out with a good point. What is the conclusion of all those discussions? That is called a Vedanta. Then there is Vitanda. Vitanda consists of mere attacks on the other side. You are not interested in the truth. You just want to be in a position that you are right. You want to... That kind of people are there as well. So that is what Vedanta is. And Jalpa is a vigorous verbal disputation directed at gaining victory only. Devices used are usually underhanded or negative character. Right? So there are different types of debates and discussions will take place. The only thing to establish is the truth. And then the science of the self, which is mentioned, is the most important form of knowledge. All this knowledge, all this discussion which you can take, is nothing compared to knowing self-realization, knowing yourself. That kind of knowledge is what is important. And that gives meaning to all the rest of the discussion. And that is what Krishna says, I am. Like him. Then in sloka 1042 I said, one can go on listing opulences if at the end you do not come to Krishna. Instead of 82, he can give 820 slokas. But if knowing all that, you still don't come to Krishna, all those are a waste. So, there is no purpose serving in knowing these opulences if the final goal of reaching Krishna is not there. So this is what the conclusion of this sloka is. And finally, Lord Krishna's name, fame, pastimes, etc. cannot be understood by material senses. Only to one who is engaged in pure devotional service under proper guidance is he revealed. Thus, for people in general, he is not visible. Here it is said that although he is all pervading, everywhere present, he is not conceivable by the material senses. Right? So, all this is just an attempt for you to start appreciating. But your material senses are limited. They need to be converted. More following the regulated principles, for doing chanting, all that will help you to understand Krishna as he is supposed to be understood. Hare Krishna. Yatra Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. I think we have come almost to their questions, then fine. Otherwise,